Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Aaron again. I wanted to make a second video. The last one was specifically, it looked like this. It was for math progress monitoring. We did the difference between math and reading a little bit differently because the structure of the RTI process was a little bit different last year. I don't know what it looks like for y'all this year, but I'm guessing that you probably still want to keep these separate. So this one is reading progress monitoring Scatterplot. And as you can see, it's not a bar chart or a bar graph. It's a scatter plot with a line of best fit on it. And so what we have here, just like on the math one, at the very top, you have the instructions in case you don't have to go back to this video. Just read the instructions. It tells you exactly what to do. And also like the other one, do not manipulate anything other than student name, deficit, and what's highlighted in yellow. Don't manipulate anything else. If you put any numbers anywhere else, it could ruin this graph, which is already set up. It's already going to do everything for you. Just put what you need to put in the yellow highlighted cells. And so the first thing you want to do before you do anything is you want to set a goal for a student. Just like on the math progress monitoring, the goal was 70% on those tests. But we use a different testing system for the reading progress monitoring, so it's a little bit different. We use iStation, and iStation uses scale scores, and hopefully it didn't lock me out. Good. We use scale scores in iStation, so it's a little bit harder to determine what that goal looks like. But I'm going to show you how we do it. It's really easy. First you log into iStation, and then you should see something like this, and you're going to go to Toolbox and Instructional Tier Goals. Okay, from here you want to go to either early reading, which is mostly our kinder first and maybe second. Actually, it probably will be second if they're RTI kids. Probably not higher than second graders. And then your older kids are advanced reading. But we'll just go with early reading and then display. And from here you see all the scale scores where your students should be depending on what time of the year. So let's pretend that you're setting up scale scores, you're setting up goals in October. And let's pretend that you're a first grade teacher in October, and this is the overall reading. You probably don't want to do overall reading because, like I said in the other video, you want to be very specific as far as what skill you're working on with that student in RTI. So let's pick another one. Let's say we're working with letter knowledge. And so we are first grade in September, and if that student is getting a scale score below 196, they're in tier 3. So let's pretend that they're getting a 190. And our goal over the next, let's say, 8 weeks is to at least get that student up to tier 2. So, but consider in 8 weeks you're not going to be in September. It depends on what part of September you're in, but you may be really close to, you're probably going to be in November or maybe even close to December. So let's say we're in November in 8 weeks. So that student does not need to be 196 to 204. If they're 196 in November, they're still tier 3. So we want to hit a goal somewhere between 199 and 208. And so let's say that student's going to grow from 196 to 205. Now, I know this is kind of ambiguous. It's not real concrete because these numbers don't make a lot of sense. But the idea is that the student's moving up from a tier 3 to a tier 2 at least. And you're setting them up for success to get to tier 1 eventually as well. And so that's what you would write down. So let's say 190, we said 195. And we're going to get the kid to, let's say, 202. And so we go back to our progress monitoring document and we put 195. And that's the most current score. That's where they're at now, and their goal is going to be 202 in 8 weeks. As you can see, it automatically created the line, the aim line that student should be following. But this is now going to be blank because we don't have scores yet, but we do know week 1 because we've already done it, 195. Okay, so you can see that the graph is changing on its own. You don't have to do anything. So in week 2, you come around and you're going to do something called a on-demand assessment, which I'll make a third video for that for you reading teachers and reading interventionists, so you know how to set those up if you don't know how to do that. So you set up that on-demand assessment, and that student, the next time he logs into iStation, he will be forced to take an assessment on that deficit. So remember, we're doing letter knowledge for John Doe, so I put in letter knowledge, and he's going to take an assessment. And let's say now he made a 192, which very well could happen. You never know. And so you can see that it's plotting it. Now we have a problem. We need to look. Okay, we did something in intervention that's not working. So let's tweak some things and see if we can improve. Go to week 3, and now he's gone back up to 195. Okay, good. And we're going to continue for a few more weeks. Things are looking good. He's going to 198, 199. You're doing this once a week. We do it once a week because they're really short assessments. They don't take very long. And I believe last year what we did was intervention was Monday through Thursday, and Friday was the day where they did the on-demand assessment. And we're continuing to go. He gets up to 201, 203, 202. And you can see it created that line of best fit. And what I like about this is you can see before you get to week 8 the trajectory of this student and whether you think he's going to make that goal. And this is a very important document to be monitoring. That's why it's called a progress monitoring document, because you need to be making sure that that student is making the progress he needs to make in order to meet his goals, in order to get on grade level in a timely fashion. And so that's that document, and just like the other one, you can make a duplicate down here and create a separate tab for each student. And this one document is going to last you for 8 weeks, so you may only have to make, depending on if that student stays in RTI or not, if he stays in RTI, you may only make maybe 3 of these for that student. And so he may start off with letter knowledge, and then he masters letter knowledge, and then you move into decoding or whatever it may be. So that's that video. Hopefully it helps. And like always, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to help. Thank you.